This is why you died.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Season 1 finale episode of This Is Why You Died, the horror podcast where we talk about movies and have lots of fun doing it, and hope you have lots of fun listening to us talk about it. And it has been a full year since we began this show. I am Sir Ian Dangerous, as always, your Uncle Frank, and joining me, as always, Ryan Ross Live, Dan March of Madness. Say hello, gentlemen. We're back one more time. Come on.
Hello.
I can't believe it's been a year, guys. That's insane.
It flew by. It really flew by.
This a year. That's amazing. And it's a real milestone. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming along on this ride and having a great time. I don't know about you. I've been having a great time. I hope everyone who's listening has been having a great time. We've got a very fun show for you all today. We are going to be kind of looking back over the last year of the show, wrapping up the season, getting ready for season 2, and we have so many things to talk about, so many exciting things coming in season 2. Boys, are you excited for the show today?
Very excited. I'm ready.
Weeks of planning and effort are coming into today, and I'm very excited to share it with everyone.
I'm very excited to share all the surprises that we have for our audience. Lots of announcements.
God. We've got announcements. We've got some games we're going to play. We've got some little like fun topics to talk about. We're going to set up season 2 and make sure we've all got our movies set up and everything. But before we do that, I just want to like kind of put the capstone on the last year. What did we learn? What did we learn about ourselves? Who are the friends we made along the way? What did you think about the last year? What did we learn about each other?
Dan, you start, because I feel like as the newbie, I probably have more to talk about.
I'm sure you do. I think I have to say that like I'm so thrilled to have you guys as friends to be able to just, share in life, but also to talk about horror movies with. I am always usually in my little solo bubble. My wife hates watching scary movies. My friends, it's hard to go to the theaters with. So it's like, I'm always just like watching a movie and be like, that was so good. And I have nobody to talk about it with. Oh, no. So it's great to be able to have this outlet where we can celebrate horror. We can talk about horror. We can talk about the things that we hate. We can talk about the things that we love. But, I've learned that I've learned to be a lot more open-minded. I've learned that I can appreciate some eras of horror that I didn't really watch that much of, thanks to Ian. And I've had a blast, learning more about the genre and I'm honestly being influenced by you guys. I mean, I might love a movie, and by the time we're done with an episode, I'm like, well, that movie sucked.
Hopefully, sometimes it's the other direction as well.
True, yeah. Sometimes it's like, I don't know if I like that movie, and then by the end of the episode, I'm like, that was a masterpiece. But it's never that drastic. But it's it's great to chat with you guys and to see new perspectives. Definitely getting Ian's insights into horror and all the tidbits that and then getting that newbie side from you, Ryan, and you're a smart dude, so you always have these other ways to see the movie that I hadn't even thought of. Is stuff that I've brought to the table that I absolutely love. You've opened my eyes to other aspects of the movie too. So I mean, that's what I take away. It's
he's
just
found other ways to process his trauma is what
exactly you have helped me. Who needs therapy? Who needs therapy? Let's just
Ryan does
just chat
after
horror.
the first season of this show. Ryan needs therapy. It's after what we've done to him.
How am I supposed to follow Dan here? I was like, Dan, go first, and now I'm like, well, now I feel like I'm so moved.
You played yourself on that one, but to speak to Dan's point there, I hope I'm glad that he's got a place to talk about horror and to experience horror. That's one of the things that, along with you guys, I'd really love to see happen in the coming seasons is create a community. Anyone who's listening to the show right now are dedicated listeners. Guys, looking forward to setting some things up and chatting with you about it. But we'll talk more about that in a little bit. Ryan, I want to get your perspective. How was this first year for you? What did you learn? What did you experience? What's going on?
Honestly, I've touched on a little bit in episodes before, but I kind of went into this project with you guys a little bit hesitant in terms of like, look, guys, like I love chopping it up with you guys. I'm happy to go along, and like I know I'll enjoy the conversations. I don't know that I'm gonna enjoy the movies that much. And here I am, and honestly, I've been really impressed by horror. I feel like I've grown to really love it as a genre, and I've learned so much about like how broad and how deep it can be. But more than that, I think like it's so cool doing this with you guys specifically because you both bring such unique and different perspectives to the table. Dan, with your like tentpole fandom of horror and just like constantly being excited about horror tropes and history. And then of course, Ian being like deep diving into the studios and the actors and the behind the scenes and all the little like tidbits. Like I feel like not only have I learned a lot, but I really genuinely enjoy sitting down with you guys and talking about this. I really think that this is something special, and I can't wait to see where we're able to go with it. And for all of you dedicated listeners listening, where you guys are going to come with us, because I think that that's also been a really cool aspect that I didn't anticipate. Is as somebody who is a content creator and has a community, I've gotten reached out to a lot by people who engage with the podcast and how much they love it and things they're excited about and opinions they want to share. And like we've like shout outs to some of the people who have like Safune, who's written in, and Kristen, who gave us the list, and like Jade and Hermes and all these different people that have shown how much they are excited and appreciate it. That's been also a really cool aspect that I wasn't really anticipating. And I can't wait to see where these things go.
It's a great start. I think we're off to a great start. Thanks for everyone coming along with us so far. We promise we got a lot more ahead of us. We're very excited for where we're going to go with this. As for myself, what did I learn? I learned some stuff about you guys. We all learned that that Ryan,
you don't love Hellraiser as much as you do.
That's a point we'll come back to. Put a stick in that. We're going to come back to that. Okay. Things I learned about Ryan. I learned that Ryan is a big camping. He's an outdoorsman.
That's true.
He's a big camping fan. And I learned that he likes killing Boy Scouts with pocket knives.
That's not true.
And
we don't know that to not be true though.
That's true.
I'm being slandered.
You knew about knives and blood that we just did not know, that you know so much about.
I'm just saying the suspicion is out there now. But also I found out the show gives Ryan crazy dreams.
That's also true.
We have messed with his dreams. We've messed with the man's dreams. We're giving him wild nightmares. I'm telling you.
What's the director's name again?
We couldn't even get through the whole thing because I was laughing too much at the dream. The voice message was too much, man.
What's the director's name again? What was his?
Mike Flanagan.
Mike Flanagan. I want to point out, I didn't know who Mike Flanagan was prior to this podcast, and because of you two, I was having dreams about Mike Flanagan movies. So that's on
He's
you.
He's living rent free in your head now.
I hope Mike's listening to this. We need Mike to listen to our show. Come on, buddy.
Mike, you're welcome anytime.
With the amount of shouting out, at some point it's going to happen. I've learned. Let's see,
light
Dan,
the candles, do a summoning circle. Mike Flanagan. Mike Flanagan.
Summoning circle. We summoned thee in the name of Stephen King. I've learned Dan's kids are haunted.
True.
They're like your two little girls. You've got like the two little girls from like a horror movie living with you. And I mean that in the best possible way.
I think my oldest is going to be a better horror movie director than I'll ever be, because she's got some great ideas and she's only 6. So I'm just like, you keep going. These are super scary. And my other one making like some of the best, like, and then they're making some of the best found footage movies I've ever seen on their little like $50 Amazon iPhone. So
you still need to put that up.
Go for it.
Yeah, we do. We got to put up their found footage film.
We do.
Oh, I do. I got to put that up for this. Definitely for this, because that was spooky.
I don't even like found footage movies, and that was a good one. I'm not gonna lie.
It was.
Also, weirdly, Dan found that you like to pick movies that center around violence towards women. Interestingly enough, Scream.
Oh.
Let's go down your list. Scream, Gerald's Game.
Oh God.
Host.
Oh.
Cannibal Ferox.
Whoa.
The Descent.
Oh no.
Midsommar.
Uh-huh.
Green Room. There's a chick with a knife in her head. Scream is all about women getting chased around by slashers. And then Inside.
So Sasha and I have had a conversation about this, and I think I have a theory. I think because Dan, you are a self-professed girl dad. I think that as a girl dad, you are very like this is. You've spoken to it numerous times and in the discussions as well. I think you are very aware of like the feminine perspective and also like the effect on women in these movies because of the fact that you're a girl dad. I've noticed this too.
I think that makes sense. I'm
you're
leaning towards
that,
Ryan's side because the way that Ian presented it sounded a little too spooky and scary and like, is there something wrong with me? Whereas Ryan sounds a little bit more like I'm a good dad. So I'll go with Ryan's. But I'd agree. And I think having said that, like, yes, there's violence towards women on those, but I think in all those movies, there's always like a really strong, at least Inside, maybe not so much, but there's like a strong female character that's like leading the way and leading the charge against the evil. And so it's like, I hope that my girls can be that strong too as they grow. So I'm hoping I'm more the good dad rather than like the psychopath.
You don't think that
processing some of your feminine emotions here. Absolutely.
Yeah. You don't think the John Wick woman was a strong female character?
Oh, yeah, sure. Wait, you were talking about Ballerina?
No, the woman in Inside.
Oh, yeah. Well,
the ninja.
I don't know. The ninja. They were both kind of like, I don't know. They were able to take some cops down, the evil one, and then the one that just was like, I'm about to give birth, but I can create a staff and bow and kill people with it. Sure. Yeah.
She was French MacGyver.
She was MacGyver. So.
Oh my goodness.
And then we also learned somehow that I'm the moody goth dad, according to AI.
Also true.
So we definitely had some fun this season, boys. But I think it's time we start talking about what fun we're gonna have in the next season. I'm so excited to tell everyone about all this.
Let's do it.
Let's run down all the things that we're planning here. We've got a whole bunch of, the number one big thing is that we're going to go from bi-weekly shows to weekly shows.
Finally!
Boom.
We're
Wow.
doubling our content. And not only that, thanks to Mr. Ryan Ross Live, we will also be up every episode, full videos on YouTube.
You can see our pretty faces. We're recording right now. You're going to be able to see us right now.
Look at our handsome, beautiful faces this will week.
I think this is our first video episode that we'll be recording for YouTube. So that's a fantastic one. And then, thanks to both of you guys, we've got a Patreon starting up as well. We've already pretty much got it set, I think, with all the tiers and everything.
So it'll be available when this episode goes live, and it has a bunch of fun bonuses that you guys can get to be a part of. It provides extra access to some exclusive content. We're going to have some before and after content of every episode. And then also it hooks up to a community Discord server where if you support the Patreon, you'll be able to come and interact not only with us, but with other fans of the show. And then we've got some fun things that we're going to be doing in the Discord server as well, which is super exciting. And we've got some milestones for if we get certain amounts of patrons on the Patreon, we have some rewards associated with them for improving the show and the content.
Yeah, including like some extra thing, like some extra caveats on the show. Some more things that we will do if we hit a certain milestone. We will do extra stuff for you guys on the show, and even I think we have hit like a really high milestone. We are actually going to like record with people in the room or something like that. What did we agree with that? We did something. We said we will do something.
We did a live
crazy.
show, right? We do a live show.
So we said at every we've got one bit that we haven't talked about yet that I'll say, but every 25 patrons we're going to add to a surprise feature of season 2, which we'll get to in a little bit. But then at 100. We're hoping to do live recordings, which will probably be in the said Discord server. We'll be able to record live for people to actually witness us recording. rather than just the three of us. We'll have audience. And then if we get up to 250 patrons, we're going to look into trying to record in person. Because right now we do record from our individual homes remotely. But if we were to get 250 patrons, we're hoping that we could then find a space where the three of us could gather and actually do this face to face, which I think would be super fun.
That'd be cool.
That would change the game. Yeah.
Anyone who's in LA or who can get to LA could come and see us, but that's obviously down the road, and we'll see how fast we get there. I mean, could be a couple years, could be a couple months, who knows? But we're ready for anything. We're bracing ourselves, and I'm looking forward to chatting with everyone on the Discord. That's the part of that I'm really excited about, is having the Discord open up and really be able to kind of interact with everybody. But I'm also, when we do have a live show, when we do see people, I'm looking forward to seeing everyone wearing some merch, because we got merch coming out too.
We do have merch.
Big thanks to Ryan.
Yeah.
I have to also say, you did thank both of us for the Patreon, but that was Ryan's driving force. But let's put Ryan up there, because that was incredible putting that together. And Ryan, please explain the merch, because this stuff was really cool.
It's pretty cool.
Well, so shout out to Fourth Wall. I'm using Fourth Wall. I've used Fourth Wall as a creator myself. They're wonderful. They're a wonderful company and website that provides merch for creators. But so we have about five items right now of merch that are available. All that are, one that's a tour shirt of season 1 that has all of the episodes and the dates they came out for every episode of season 1. We've got, of course, a beanie and a hoodie for Dan. We've got a button-down shirt for Ian. We've got a t-shirt for me. So there's a bunch of different fun merch stuff. And then if anybody does have ideas for merch they'd like to see, we can always add more designs. That's something that, like, if, for example, you take part in the Discord, you'd be able to let us know ideas and we'll be able to make them. And we'll be wearing that merch in season 2, episode 1. In theory, everybody should have their stuff by then. We've ordered some samples to show you guys. So very exciting.
Yeah. And then in addition, we've got a whole bunch of stuff that we're adding to the show as well, like for the actual show itself. For example, one of the first big things is what I've come to start saying is 666, the number of the beast. Oh wait, no, it's the prompts of the beast, the buckets of the beast. Our buckets now have 666 prompts. We went from 250 to 666 potential prompts that could be prompting us to choose movies. So we got a deep list of potential movie ideas.
There's some weird words in there.
I want to highlight too that we actively removed all of the prompts we did for season 1 and replaced them. So it's a full fresh 666 prompts. No repeats, no nothing.
No repeats.
We're going in hard for season 2.
And in addition, we've also got something that we are going to call a killer. We've got a prompt killer. We're going to have a slasher on the show. And what it basically means, we actually have 2 kinds of slashers on the show for next season. We've got one slasher where we are able to kill someone else's prompt. We can either steal their prompt or we can override their prompt. And we're going to, I think we're going to roll for that later on in the episode, right? We're going to roll for who's, or do we all have that? Is that the one we all have?
No, so that's one that we'll roll for it. One person will be the killer. And if you are the killer, you can either steal someone's prompt when they draw it. You can cause them to re-roll it and actually straight up just say you don't get that prompt, you get something else. Or if they pick a movie, you can override their movie selection and be like, you have to either choose something else or I'm inserting a movie for you. You basically, it's essentially a killer veto of we have one person gets to be a killer. And
you don't get to pick that movie.
And every 25 patrons, we get another killer thrown into the mix. So we never know when the killer's going to use it. We know who the killer is, and they can use it at any point during the season. But every 25 patrons, we roll again, and a new killer enters. And so we might have multiple wandering around at once.
Okay, dedicated listeners, you heard that. You got to come join up our Patreon. So we got a lot of serial killers in this room.
Yeah, man. I've just so that I can kill some movies if I don't want to watch another found footage movie or something like that. But we've also, I think we've also got Slash My Prompt, which is, I think we each get one. We only get one per season, but it gives us the ability to arbitrarily pick a movie. I'm not going to pick a prompt for this one. I am going to arbitrarily say we have to watch this movie, whether it's a movie that's in theaters and we're excited about, whether it's a movie that we just saw on Blu-ray and we just we're like, oh, we're on streaming and like we all have to watch this movie. It's so good. I can't wait for the right prompt to come along. You can force one of those per season, so we all each get one ability to force a movie in season 2. So that could lead to some exciting choices as well. And then the last one, hexes are back.
Ooh,
The hex.
I love it.
The hex is back. We are going to roll for who gets the hex for next season. I had it the first season, and we don't know who's going to have it the next season. We're all going to be playing for that later
the
on.
progenitor of the hex, the inventor of the hex.
Yes, the hex is basically just arbitrarily forcing a theme onto the next round of movies. Whether that's like last season we had, or this season we had double features. Next one, who knows what it could be? It's like would force us all to watch the same kind of movie, force us all to watch a movie together. Whatever, the hex can be whatever the person desires, and that could get very hairy indeed. But now it's time to do a little segment that we like to call I'd Like to Play a Game. It's time for the games segment. It's going to be a bunch of opinions and a bunch of topics that we're going to throw at each other and have to talk about, and it could get very, very contentious. And for a show where normally we're talking about a single movie and we're talking about topics associated with that movie, we thought it'd be fun to just kind of get a little bit more free form with it and ask some questions of each other and really put each other on the spot here for your entertainment to set ourselves at each other like wolves, like starving wolves. So the very first game here is we're going to call it "This Is Why You Died on That Hill," which is it's basically we're going to talk about opinions that we had this year, this last year on the show, the last 24 episodes, opinion plus the bonus. We can go back and we can nitpick opinions that each other had during that time and rehash this and start arguing all over again about something that we've already talked about. I don't know who wants to go first in this one. Who's really pissed off about something and wants to go.
Oh, Ryan,
I will
looks
stand
pissed.
up.
Ryan
I got one for each
Ryan's
of
got
you.
beef.
I got one for each of
yeah.
you. So
Yeah.
I'll start with you, Ian. So
Bring it on.
you had an opinion earlier and granted, as the stat man, mine are mostly based on how movies were ranked against each other. So I'd like to point out, Mr. Ian Dangerous, that for the movie Videodrome, you ranked the movie Videodrome higher than the following movies: Gerald's Game, Descent,
Correct.
Inside, Invitation, and
Correct.
Empty Man. Do you stand by rating Videodrome above all of those movies?
Wow.
I do.
Wow.
Seriously?
Yep, I do. I freaking love Videodrome. I'm sorry. That movie to me is classic horror. It's everything I want in a horror movie. It's squidgy. It's weird. It's political, but it's not so specific you can say exactly what it's about. It's got weird kinky sex shit. It's got like weird gross body horror. It's just such a it's cool at the same time while also making you feel terrible. I love Videodrome. I absolutely put it over all those movies. I stand by my position on that.
Wow.
You're
Ryan,
insane.
Wow.
You're
That's
insane and twisted, but we
bold.
love you
Yeah?
anyway.
Yeah.
Mwah. Love you too. What else you got? What you got for
All right,
Dan?
Dan, your turn.
I'm ready. Hit me with it.
So here's the deal, Dan. You
Uh-huh.
rated Empty Man at a 7.
Okay.
You gave it a solid C because you said that it was confusing at certain points on whether or not what was real and what wasn't. However, I'd like to point out, Dan, that you gave when I lose it,
Too many stats.
Too many stats.
He's pulling. Too many stats.
There's too many movies. What's the? I know the name.
I don't know what you're angry
Ah,
about,
there
or
it is.
I'd tell you.
You gave Audition an 8.
Uh-huh.
And Audition
Okay.
also has very strange back and forth, weird false reality things going on.
Mm-hmm.
And so after the season, with the full reflection of everything that we've seen,
Mm-hmm.
do you feel that you understand Empty Man any better, or do you still stand by that it's a 7, but Audition is an 8?
I understand Empty Man slightly better, but I'm still very confused by it. So I completely stand by Audition. Audition, I would much rather watch Audition over Empty Man.
You both
anytime.
upset me.
Why? You think we'd switch? No.
I'm actually going to back Dan's play on this. Audition, I think, is inarguably a better movie than Empty Man, and I love Empty Man.
Oh man. Well, how did I rate the two? I gave it. Nope.
you gave
I
Audition an 8.
disagree. Good. I'm glad.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I disagreed. I have to check myself here. Anyway,
Yeah, you gave Audition an 8, and you gave Empty Man an 8.5,
it's
Oh,
true.
Wow.
It's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
which I think is a very fair. I think they're close. I think that. I mean, what did I say? I said Audition is an. No, that's Dan. I said Audition was an 8.5, and I said Empty Man was an 8. Yeah, I
It's
said
true.
the same thing.
You said the
in
same
reverse.
thing.
I like the
Yeah.
thing is I like the like dark powery things. Like Audition's more just weird.
Oh, yes. I get
Yeah.
what you're saying. Yeah, like you lean more towards that world, but I just think that like in terms of just what Audition does and how it like how it moved me watching it the first time compared to the Empty Man, where I was like, what? Like I was just a bit confused by the end of Empty Man, whereas with Audition,
How Audition moved you?
well, I mean, it's once the man in the bag moves, it completely shifts the story, where it's so shocking that you're like, what sort of movie am I watching?
Yeah,
But I need to know.
Watching?
Yeah, but I need to know what I'm watching. Whereas like the Empty Man, I'm like, what am I watching? Because it doesn't make sense to me. And that's just kind of, that's my personal opinion, but that's why it led me to, yes, I still agree that Audition ranks higher than the Empty Man. But I will say, granted, after having the discussion with both of you, I appreciated the Empty Man a lot more, and I would watch it again. It's not like I disliked it. It's just that like I was very confused after watching it the first time, and actually talking it out with you guys helped me understand it more. But I still was like, huh?
I recommend watching it again. Empty Man's a solid movie. I think you'll get more out of it knowing what happens at the end
right
now.
Yeah.
And watching it again, I think you
And then-
get more like, okay, this is what's going on in the first.
Well,
half.
remember the very first time I tried to watch it, I just watched the first 30 minutes and thought that was the whole
That's
movie.
true.
I was like, wow,
That
was,
is true. I forgot
was
about that.
Interesting movie.
Which is amazing. Let's just be clear. That is amazing.
It's
That
just
was
the most
awful
dad
short.
story.
That was a short movie.
It's the
Weird.
most dad Dan story of anything we've ever done on the podcast. Like, oh yeah, I watched it. I fell asleep, but it was good. It was very good. I enjoyed it.
I thought there'd be more to it.
Well, it was
I
the
like how
snow
you made
scene,
me
scene,
an old man.
and then I fell asleep, and then there was credits,
but it
and I
was
was like,
great.
that was it. That was the movie. That was cool. There was a guy in
I
snow.
really
They got
enjoyed
him.
it.
To be fair, yeah, that opening half an hour makes a great short film. It's just there's so much
Yeah.
more to it.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the second part here because
Go for it.
I think anyone who knows me saw this one coming.
Uh-oh.
And that is, I've got to defend Hellraiser. You two sons of bitches gave Hellraiser a 7. The original Hellraiser. You liked the new one, which fair, but you gave the original a 7,
Mhm.
and you took it to task for specifically for its acting,
Mhm.
which I kind of get. I kind of get it. I love how melodramatic it is. That's one of the things I love about that first Hellraiser is like the music stings and like the swells. It is so melodramatic. It is so like soap opera-y. And that's one of the things I think that makes it so delicious is that it's this very heightened kind of just above reality, pushing the limits of emotions, what human emotions would be. But boys, defend yourselves if you would please. Do you still only respect Hellraiser as a 7 out of 10?
I will jump in. I absolutely do think that I still stand by as a 7 out of 10. And I will correct you that it is not just
Dirty
the
son of a
melodrama.
bitch.
Even beyond the melodrama, for me, what makes it a 7 is twofold. One, the writing is terrible. The characters do not feel human. The dialogue makes no sense. And the filming, although decent at times, there's some cool shots. The filming does not humanize the characters in any way, and they all feel very like they don't feel normal. They don't feel like people. They feel like personas, boxes, people playing to the camera
feel
for
like
a
you're
specific
just
thing.
Yes, it's theatrical.
Ian
That's-
in the heart.
It's stabbing me in the
Hey,
testicles.
things can be theatrical and well written, and I will tell you this: Hellraiser, the original Hellraiser, is not well written, and that
you son
is why it's a 7.
of...
I'm gonna stick by mine too. Like, honestly, like I said, I tried to watch it on my own before this show and couldn't make it through the first hour, and then I was like, okay, I gotta watch this for the show. And so that last 30 minutes really saved the film for me, where I really appreciated it. But like that first hour was rough, it was tough for me. So I will still stick by because, like, yeah, the new Hellraiser, kind of grabbed me from the beginning. So, yeah, I'm gonna stick with it. Sorry, Ian.
That's okay. That's okay. It just means I will force you both to watch Hellraiser 2 to see if that changes your
That's
mind
fair. That's
Going-
fair.
Not 6 or 7 or whatever many there are now.
at all. No, not Deader, Hellworld, any of the later
Hellraiser
ones.
Deader.
I also want to throw out there.
Maybe Inferno. That's not bad.
I want to throw out there that I think when we came up with this segment, we were like, yeah, we'll all like debate and it'll be good. I think what this is turning into is like, well, how can all of us just commit to opinions that cause each other pain? We're just going to
Yeah,
suffer
that's true.
in this segment. We're all like, hey, about this thing, did you really mean that? And everyone's just like, yes. And we're like, damn.
Yeah.
Like,
It's okay. I look forward to season 7 of the show and still being like, so guys, do you like Hellraiser yet? What
Hasn't
about
grown
what
on you
about
at
now?
all?
Oh,
It's
man.
getting better, isn't it? All right, Dan, what is yours?
All right, I got
Oh my
one for
God.
you, just like Ryan did. So I'll start with you, Ian. You really thought Juno did nothing wrong in The Descent.
Oh,
Do you
this
really
is a great
still
one.
feel like she did really nothing wrong in that movie?
It's-
Even though Ryan had, he listed off a barrage of everything that I agree with him that she did bad, but you were like, you know what? Yeah, she cheated, but whatevs. So please,
she
do
cheated,
you still stand by
she
Juno?
lied, she led them into the
Funnily enough.
cave.
Funnily enough, Dan March of Madness,
Oh,
we were going to have a little bit after this where we called it a clarification. If there's anything we wanted to go back this season and double down on,
are you doing
this
that?
was my double down.
Oh, so are you pulling
This
that
was-
now, or are you gonna wait for it?
I'll bring it on right now.
Okay,
You
bring it
call
on now. Let's
you
hear it.
call
I
down
want to
the
hear
thunder.
it. I want to hear it.
Well, here it is.
Okay, let's go.
I doubled down on Juno's the hero of that
Oh,
movie. Juno's my
God.
heroine.
Get
Absolutely.
out of here.
Did she make mistakes? Absolutely. And she tried to make right by them. And you know who didn't? Sarah, the victim, lifelong victim. Oh, poor Sarah. Everything happens to Sarah. But
Lifelong
no-
victim.
And you know what happened at the end?
Wow.
Sarah is just, there's no forgiveness in Sarah. There's no. Juno, you screwed up. You know what you get for your screw ups? Death. Not a reckoning. Death.
She killed her
She's
friend.
committed to die. That's
She killed her
that's,
friend. Cheated
yeah.
on her husband.
I accidentally killed her friend. Accidentally.
Accidentally.
Let's be clear. Accidentally.
Recklessly.
Friend came up behind her in a cave where they were surrounded by critters.
But she didn't save her.
She jumped. She jumped
abandoned
up
her.
on her. She
I'll
jumped
give
up on
you
her.
that. I can give you that because in the intensity of the moment with these creatures that you've never seen before who are trying to kill you,
Look,
I could see that.
I don't
Juno
disagree
is
with
trying
that.
to make up for her past transgression. She's trying to like overcompensate and keep screwing up. She keeps
But-
screwing up and she keeps trying to do right and things keep going wrong for her. I
How
feel
is that
bad. That's
heroic?
terrible.
How is that
Because
heroic?
she's trying to overcome. It's trying to overcome all these obstacles that are being
She
thrown at
still
her. Because
wears the necklace of the guy she cheated with.
well, Didn't she have feelings for him? Maybe she had feelings for him too. Sarah's the only
my
person who had feelings for
goodness.
him. You don't know what Juno's and this guy's relationship was.
Let's
It
touch on Ryan's biggest pet peeve in a lot of these movies is that she did not tell any of her friends where they were going.
That's
She
true.
totally
She
chose a
lied
different
to
cave.
all of them.
She lied
She
to
set
all
them up.
friends.
She was trying to do something nice for them. She was
Ugh.
trying to say, we're gonna discover these caves, and when we all come out, we'll be famous. You're welcome.
I
Just
need a
because
heavy
it
breathe
didn't
for a
go
second.
well, just because it didn't go well for her, you can't fault her for the intention.
I'm going to have a
what,
conniption.
what
Wow.
a good friend trying to do a nice thing for her other friends. It's not her fault that she decided she accidentally found the one cave that happened to have ancient monsters underground. How's she supposed to know about that?
It's not even about that. It's about the fact that it's an unexplored cave that could kill them all, even without the creatures.
She
It's
believed in her
incredibly
friends.
dangerous.
She
Oh my
believed
goodness.
in her friends
I'm
that
getting a
much.
headache.
She's like, my
don't
friends
know
are
if she
so
did.
badass they can handle this.
I feel like maybe she
Woman
wanted
power.
to be the badass, and she took it upon herself to be like, "We're gonna discover this cave," but like, I did it. You know,
My-
that's where I feel Juno's coming from.
My
but-
neck is so tense, boys.
Wow, I didn't know this would bring so much like
Oh my goodness.
intensity with
You
Ryan.
called
Wow.
it down. I'm doubling down on it.
Oh,
Juno,
man.
Juno
Okay.
is the true hero of Descent.
Wow.
And we're not talking
I
about Descent
highly-
2. We're talking about Descent
I
1.
highly disagree, but that's incredible. I love
Juno's
you
my girl.
staying with that. Okay.
I'm gonna get the shirt. I'm gonna get the shirt printed. Juno did nothing wrong. I'm gonna wear it on this show just for you, Ryan Ross Live.
I will. I'll just disconnect.
All right,
You
Ryan,
do
I
the
got one for
episode
you.
without me.
Just hang out.
I got
All
one
right,
for
Dan,
you,
get
Ryan.
'em.
You ready?
All right, fire.
Do you still think Psycho is a slasher? Because you were still
It is
standing
a
by it
proto
after we
slasher.
watched.
We discussed this. It is the invention of the slasher genre prior to slashers existing. It does not follow slasher tropes. It does not follow slasher rules because they were not established. But it does hit all of the major features of a slasher and essentially unintentionally invented the slasher genre. And I absolutely stand by that because it has all the tropes. It has a man who kills multiple people in violent ways. It has a big old weapon. He literally has to dispose of the bodies, and this is a regular thing for him. They play up the killing that happens on camera. It's a proto slasher.
Final girl. Yeah.
Is there a final girl?
I love it. Ryan, you sound like me, and it's beautiful.
It is. Psycho walked so that all the slashers could run.
Yeah.
Because
okay.
without
Oh.
Psycho,
No, listen, this
they
is
would all
not like
be the It Follows creature just walking at things.
This is not me trying to like prove you wrong. I just wanted it because that was a very strong opinion because Ian and I were very, like shocked when you picked Psycho for slasher because we were like, well, it's not really a slasher, but
But it is
after after discussing, yeah.
It is
No, I love it.
though.
I love it.
I still, you know what? Even after all the discussion, I still stand by the fact that when I picked it blind, right? Like this is one of the first things I ever picked. I didn't know a lot about horror. We hadn't gotten very into the series. I still stand by the fact that the two things that identified it as a slasher for me, one, the big old knife, which is very slashery, and two, the iconic death sound from the soundtrack being like a stinger that became essentially the like ongoing joke of I'm going to kill you with a knife for the next 50 years. Those are both very slasher things, and I still fully believe that was like, I
love it.
stand by the logic, even if some of that wasn't where we went.
Good for you, Ryan. No, yeah, it's fantastic.
25 horror movies, and listen to Ryan Ross
I
Live.
know.
OJ literally made the noise as a threat to an interviewer at one point. Like
He
it is
I
a
saw that.
it
It
is.
popped up recently in
It's
my
a-
feed.
It is
That
a
was-
societal. That sound is a societal staple for murdering someone with a knife, and I don't know what else is slasher than that.
I didn't know we would go to OJ on this.
I
talk
was gonna
right now.
say-
I didn't know we would go there,
Welcome
but
to
we
the
did.
finale, season 1.
I didn't.
We're celebrating
not have-
horror.
I did not have O.J. Simpson on my bingo card today.
Nope.
I
Neither
also
did
But
I.
did you get bingo?
I also didn't have Dan calling out my clarification on my bingo
Wow.
card before me, so I'm out of boys. Is
We'll
there
get
anything
there.
you want to clarify I've clarified my position on Juno being the hero of the descent. Is there anything that you guys said this season that you want to call back and be like, I'm doubling down on this? I'm clarifying this statement.
Oh,
Ryan Ross live.
You guys know where I'm going. You know where I'm going.
I know.
Uh-oh.
We gotta tell people where you go when you go outside.
Tell people where you're fucking going when you go out in the woods.
I don't think you need to clarify that. You have made your point plenty of times.
Triple, quadruple, quintuple down. Tell people where you go when you go in the wild, because it's easy and it keeps you safe and it is a basic survival skill. And if you're not doing that, you're an idiot. End of clarification.
I'm going to have a Juno t-shirt and Ryan's going to have like a Smokey the Bear shirt. You're like, tell your friends when you go to the woods, kids. Ryan Ross live. Ryan the Bear.
Location and date of return.
It's usually
Always
just a text message, and they
phone,
don't
kids.
even do that. Yeah, they don't even text a friend.
Dan March of Madness.
Easy.
What did you want to clarify?
I do.
From this season?
I do. I don't know if it'll still prove my point, but I feel like it's not even that long ago. But with It Follows, I really want to put in there that it's not. It's about sexual violence and trauma. I have quotes now that I can read you because I feel like when I was trying to defend what I thought it was about and Ryan didn't see it, I was like, I didn't research enough. I didn't explain enough. So I have like a list of quotes
He brought
from different places.
Okay. Fire off, King.
So here we go. From Bloody Disgusting, renowned journalism of Bloody Disgusting.
Bloody Disgusting, okay.
It's not an STD movie. It's about sexual assault. It's one giant metaphor for the horrifying aftermath of sexual assault and the denunciation of victim blaming. The entity equals trauma personified from someplace called The Week, a terrifying, mesmerizing exploration of both sexually transmitted and sexual abuse. Survivor behavior is everywhere. Jay's repeated bathing, mirror checking, and isolating herself are classic trauma responses. This is from Reddit, a theory discussion on the movie. The monster is invisible to others, symbolizes how the survivor is the only one who can see the trauma. Others dismiss or pressure them to move on. That's from Ghouls Magazine. 2 more to go. Critics largely miss the rape angle. Less than 7% of critics recognize It Follows as a depicting sexual violence. And finally, lingering dread equals lingering trauma. Trauma that resists cognitive processing. So basically you're not able to really fully face your trauma. It just kind of stays with you. So those are some quotes I pulled together of trying to help push my point. I think that the survivor behavior one is really big that I didn't even notice. Strong. But her constantly bathing, checking herself in the mirror, all that stuff is something that unfortunately a lot of sexual victims, deal with with that trauma. And so seeing all that laid out, I had to lay it out there. I don't know if it changes any opinion, but I just felt like during that episode I wasn't fully prepared, so I just wanted to kind of clarify more about all that is out there that helps push that sort of theory of what the movie's about or trying to say.
That's totally fair. Honestly, I think the interesting thing is I agree with everything you're saying here. I think the line that I would draw compared to the episode itself is I think that rape and sexual assault, there are sexual assaults that are not full rape and that there's a spectrum there. And I think that essentially I agree that what's his name? The dude who tricks her, whatever his name is. He does take advantage of her and he sexually assaults her in the sense that she does not have all of the information. And she consents to the act of having sex with him, which I think does not qualify as rape, but he does not provide all the information in terms of whether it's an STD or the demon or whatever, which does, I do think, qualify as a sort of a kind of an assault. He is pushing something upon her that she is not aware of and not able to consent to. And so I do think that there's a delineation there. And so I agree with your points here. I think where I pushed back before was specifically the rape angle of she did consent to sleep with him. And at no point in the movie do we see anybody who is assaulted against their will to sleep with someone, but we do see information that isn't shared, and we do see consent given for a circumstance in which they don't have the full picture, which I do agree is taking advantage of and assaulting a person. And so I think that there's that delineation is where I draw my line. And I think I agree with what you're saying with the sexual assault angle. I don't agree with the rape angle. I think is what I would
that's
say.
That's where I was like not fully ready to go in the episode, where I was like, I basically just came out saying like, this is about rape, but it's different than that. And that's what we're seeing now. And that's what I wanted to kind of clarify. So thank you for letting me clarify. Ian,
I'll even add a little bit of flavor to that and say, I think that it's actually
flavor is an odd term for this.
I think I'll add a little bit of flavor to it. And
now we're doing video.
What I will, that's right. I will say that one thing that I think in this particular situation is, especially with It Follows, it can be more than one thing. I think that there's the flavor of a number of these different aspects in the movie, and I think it can be about a number of things. It can be about the loss of innocence and growing up, and how that is a little bit of a violation in a sense, without you really being aware of it being that like you lose something, right, in that process, and you never get it back. There's innocence once lost can never be regained, and I think that you can have certain aspects of these different, both good and bad things that can happen around sex and around growing up, and have all of those things hinted at and make you feel a certain way. And if you're looking for something, you can find it. And I think with It Follows, you can look at it and find a lot of facets, but there are so many facets to it that that's what makes it, to me, such an excellent movie, is that it has so many pieces all put together into one, and you can read it so many ways and feel it deeply, how you connect to it specifically, while still being aware that there's other ways to take it, there's other aspects to it, other facets. So I'm gonna say once again, I freaking love It Follows for that reason and for many others, and I think that there's a good argument that you make there with a lot of other people's quotes calling it out. I think that they're all valid. I think that's a valid way to read the movie. And I think there's a lot of other valid ways to read the movie too. And I can absolutely see that being one of them. So yeah, I think it's a good double down.
Agreed.
Solid. Yeah. So there, Ryan.
What?
No, it's coming at you.
What?
I'm still mad about Hellraiser.
Okay.
All right. So this next game
I'm
is
being
called
slandered on this episode.
Oh, it's just begun. Killer Stuff or Stuff to Kill. So
I'm so excited for this. I can't wait to hear what you guys came up with.
This is just stuff that we like and hate about horror as a genre. This is I'm particularly curious to see what Ryan, who's so new to the genre, has found so far that he likes and hates. So we'll do him last. I'll start this one off.
It's fair.
Yeah. Killer stuff I love. I mean, I'll come straight out of the box. I think this is a pretty obvious one. This is just a big blanket one. And it goes back to what we were saying earlier about Videodrome. I love body horror. If you give me pretty much any kind of body horror, I am so happy. I'm happy as a clam. I immediately am in love with the movie. I'm just the more squidgy and gross and weird, the better. Whether it's zombie horror and like rotten corpses, or something like Brain Dead where people are just being torn apart like cartoon characters, or whether it's like The Fly where it's deep and tragic and harsh and brutal, or if it's a really great satire commentary like The Substance, which we watched this season and was I think it's one of our highest rated movies. Now 9.5.
Wow.
Average. It's second only to Silence of the Lambs.
Wow.
Second highest. Look, today I can be the stat man.
Look at you. I
look at that list.
I don't think I haven't seen it yet. I don't think any of us have, but I heard that Together is a very good body horror. Have you seen that yet? Or
I
no?
can't wait. No,
I'm gonna point out. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but there is a scandal about Together that
I know. I've heard about this.
Okay, so you guys have about this. So the TLDR version for everyone listening is that Alison Brie and is it Dave Franco? That's the
Dave, yeah.
They're married,
Yeah.
and they were pitched a script by two writers who wrote a very similar movie together, and ends with the same song and a similar scene.
Wow.
And their agents they guarantee that it was seen by them, and their agents turned it down, and then they turned around and wrote a different script and filmed it, and together is that script, and they're being sued. It is unclear whether or not there's any validity to any of this. And so I cannot say for sure whether they did anything wrong, but there is speculation in terms of either they did something very wrong, or there are people trying to profit off of the movie. And it's unclear which
Who knew
story
what,
is
when, right.
correct.
Yeah.
So there are some questions associated with that movie.
Indeed. Regardless, I hear it's very good, and it definitely is the kind of movie that's right up my alley. Weird people being fused together as a metaphor for weird, emotionally
like dependent on your partner.
weird relationships. Yeah. Love it. Give it to me. Can't wait to see it. All right.
So what do you
it's
hate?
An easy one. It's easy. Oh, what do I hate?
Uh-oh. So many things.
So many things. I am so full of hate and anger. I hate jump scares with no art to them, but that's that's an easy one, right? Like everyone hates jump scares that are just lame. Like it's the cat that jumps out for the third time in Alien or whatever. You know.
All right, let me cross out the thing that I hate and come up with a new one.
We can both talk about it. It's fine. Yeah, unearned, uncreative jump scares are awful. I mean, you know, there's some that are
an easy one. He says.
Very famously, Exorcist 3 is one of the greatest jump scares of all time because they have like 5 minutes of misdirections before finally giving you one that no matter how many times you see that movie still gives you the willies every time you see it with the stinger and everything.
It's definitely earned.
God, they throw everything in the brick wall at you. The great double fake out in the fog that we just talked about. That's a great jump scare. I love a good earned jump scare. God, I hate just a terrible one that has just a musical one or a cat, something that's never talked about in the scene, just happening, you know, and just to keep the audience awake while you're stalking around. Hate that. But the one that this came to me as we were starting up the show.
Oh,
because I was looking through some movies and I was just like, God, I'm so sick of these wise ass characters who have all of this dialogue and they're so smart alecky and they're what they're saying is just so precious. It makes me like it's hard enough to get through a horror movie where you actually like the characters. And there's so many slashers and there's so many movies where you have these people introduced in the first 15 minutes and you're sitting there going, God, I hate them all. I hate every one of these characters. They're so obnoxious. They're all saying these pithy one-liners and whatnot. And the worst, most egregious ones in history are Joss Whedon and Kevin Williamson. Your boy.
You're forgetting Hellraiser.
How
ouch.
dare you?
Wow.
That is not at all what I'm talking about, you savage.
I'm so sorry. It was right there.
Wow.
You absolute savage. Those people were talking with real emotions. They were feeling deep things just because you didn't feel.
You're right.
Wait,
this room with this thing in the on the mantle.
She's feeling weird because she's being brought into this house where she was banging the guy that she was banging, like had this most amazing sex of her life with, has died here. Or possibly doesn't know what happened to him. She's feeling all kinds of weird just because you don't understand it. Ryan?
Well, okay, let's go back to Kevin Williamson. What do you have wrong with
I had a feeling that would trigger you.
Yes, that totally triggers me because Scream is one of my favorite movies. So let's go. I need to hear.
It's that kind of that precious. I'm still mad about that stuff. That kind of precious, self-aware, ironic dialogue is what killed horror for 10 years in the 90s. And now every time I hear what, for lack of a better word, I'll call like millennial script writing, where everything is just gotta be equipped. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to throw down today. It's a season finale.
Wow.
And if it's the series finale, then so be it, damn it. But
Ian's burning his bridges on the episode.
Every single millennial, the dedicated listeners just were like, click. I'm done with this show.
Millennial script writing, he says.
It's for lack of a better word, there's no emotionality connected to it. It's just trying to be witty for wit's sake, or self-awareness, or meta, or winking at the camera. I can't stand that shit. Try like if you can't write real people, then don't even try. You know?
You mean like
So
Hellraiser?
I'm gonna come through this webcam at you.
You don't. Okay,
I'm just gonna say something random, and he's gonna be like, just like Hellraiser.
No,
It's just gonna be-
I'm going to point out these are you're stating things that are actual criticisms. I'm not throwing random stuff out there.
You go find me like a pithy one-liner in Hellraiser that wasn't earned, and we can talk about it.
I can show you the whole 10 minutes of people not sounding like people.
So
They
you
sound,
don't
more,
like
they sound
Randy.
more like people than the teens in Scream. All
Oh,
right.
you don't like Randy as a character then? Because that's like his whole shtick. The whole movie
He's not a
he's the
character. He's a
self-aware guy.
cartoon. He's a cartoon. He's not a real character.
I mean, they did hire Jamie Kennedy, so
Yes,
Mm.
right. Exactly. Human cartoon. All right. That's it. That's my killer stuff and my stuff I want to kill. Dan,
I
March
love
of
it.
Madness.
All right, something I love that Ian hates. Found footage.
There
I
it
love
is.
Ah.
Keep
There it
giving
is.
it to me. Give me more. Every time there's a new one,
Mm.
even if it's going to be shitty, I'm still going to try to watch it.
Ah.
We saw Willow Creek, one of the worst examples of a found footage movie. Thanks, Ryan.
Pretty average, I'd say.
But
Oh,
yeah,
God.
but like, it, you know, I still love the genre. I love what it can do. I love it because I think as a filmmaker, I just connect with it. So that's the subgenre that just keep it coming. I'm excited for this Hollyoaks one that's coming out from Chris Stuckman, who's a prominent YouTube guy who talks about movies. He loves horror, and now he's gotten to direct it. Produced by Mike Flanagan. So like
Mike Flanagan.
you know, it still keeps coming, and I'm
Mike
excited.
Flanagan.
I'm excited for the found footage. I plan and hope to maybe make a feature that features some of it, or if not all of it, found footage. So
You
That's,
certainly taught your daughters well. They're already on their
That's true. Maybe
found
that's
footage
maybe
journey.
that'll be the basis for mine. But yeah, so found footage I love. Okay, what I hate is the term elevated horror.
Oh,
I think
Interesting.
Let's
that
go.
I don't
Let's
think
go.
that people need to be using it. People that say elevated horror are not horror fans. They are people that probably like movies, I'm essentially. But when they say elevated horror, it means that they saw a movie that was artistically shot and they're like, wow, this is so great compared to some of the other horror movies of the 80s. And it's like, but you don't even understand what some of these 70s, 80s movies were trying to say, 90s movies are trying to say. I got notes here to defend this part right here.
Oh
but
God,
you got-
he came prepared.
But just to talk about some of the classics is like Texas Chainsaw Massacre taking on Class Decay and post-Vietnam dread. Halloween, talking about the dangers of, like, talking about people thinking that they're safe in the suburbs, but they're really not. Like, evil can come to wherever you want. You know, it's like Scream, speaking of Scream, is talking about, you know, like, how we consume the media, how we share the media, how, like, and horror and violence in the media. Like, that's just an aspect of it. But I'm just saying that there's people talk about, like, they'll see a movie maybe like Hereditary, or they'll see something, you know, something that Jordan Peele has done, which are brilliant movies, but they call them elevated horror, like they're above it. And I think it's just such, like, it's a shame that they're calling it that, because it makes it's already like talking down to the horror genre as if it's something that's dumb or trashy. And thank goodness this very well made horror movie came out to elevate it. And that's just like, I think it's just from people that don't know horror and haven't watched a lot of horror movies, and they just like to throw that term around. It's like, oh, it's elevated horror. I think we need to stop using it. I think horror is one of the greatest. It is the greatest genre. There's so much that can be injected into talking about society, you know, talking about you know, mental health, and you can use that, and you can take an idea about mental health, and you can then put it into a metaphor and make it this very scary movie that's you know, speaking about something that's very important, and that's
Okay,
been
I'm gonna
around for
inject-
decades.
I'm going to
Yes.
inject myself into this because I'm so glad you brought this up, Dan. I really am, because this is a topic we have not had a chance to really talk about on the show yet. And it's actually a little self-plug here. I do a podcast every October. It's a little mini thing. I do like a 31 days of horror in October.
Dedication.
And I do a little show about every one of the movies that I watch. It's called Horror Palooza. A little self-plug there. Go check it out on podcast apps everywhere. But this year's Horror Palooza is all about elevated horror.
Oh, wow.
And what is it going? That's my theme this year. Is going to
That's
be
cool.
elevated horror. What is elevated horror? Is this a thing? What, you know? And why are people mad at this term existing? Because it is a very divisive term. It's pissed people off. And I think you hit the nail on the head that it's because it makes it seem like they're staring down their nose at anything that's not quote unquote elevated horror. So here's the question I have for you is, do you think that there is a specific modern subgenre or movie or movement going on in the last 15 years or so where there is a type of horror film that has more on its mind and more artistic aspects to it, whether that be production value or production design or more on the sleeve metaphors as opposed to the ones that you mentioned? Do you feel like there actually is a subgenre there that just has maybe it's been named the wrong thing? Or do you think that this is something that's always existed in horror and just critics are trying to find something snooty to call any horror movie now that has more than like just like a whole bunch of gore, like the Terrifier series?
Right. Well, I think just exactly what you said there is that these elevated horror movies might not lean so much into the gore shock factor. I think they're exploring more themes that have been talked about and have been that have been worked into past horror films, but they've kind of brought it, they've kind of brought it up to the forefront using, kind of shocking imagery or, the way that they shoot it, the way that they film it. Something that may come to mind is something like, Ari Aster is like, is a director that's really put into this, like he's an elevated horror director because the way that he did Hereditary, the way that Midsommar is just so different,
Jordan Peele, Babadook, The Witch, It Follows,
and those are fantastic. Like the Babadook is incredible metaphor for for mental health. Like what it's saying about there. Exactly. So it's like it's taking it on in a different way, and I think that it's just, I think maybe it's potentially a more artistic potential approach, like a more like, it's trying to do something different than what's been seen before, but there's still so much in these new modern classics that are still influenced from the past. Like Jordan Peele, he's like, like there's no Us without Nightmare on Elm Street. It's like there's so much of what, so.
But every horror movie builds on every movie builds on the generations before. What I'm saying is, do you feel like there's a movement right now that just has the wrong name? Like there is actually something going on right now with these kinds of movies, but just the term is turning you off.
That's a very good question. As of right now, I can't think of a new name or anything, but I would say that those the directors that I'm mentioning right now are doing something different. They're trying to, like the Ari Aster, Jordan Peele. They're doing something different, yet there's still just so much influence from the past still in their stuff too. It's like, like Nope is a fantastic movie, but it's really Jaws.
Absolutely. But at the same time, you look at the slashers in the 80s, they were taking inspiration from the slashers of the 70s. You've every horror generation is taking what came before it and evolving. I guess so. This is we can leave this open-ended if you like, but I think that's the question that I'm going to be talking about this year on Horror Palooza, and I think it's something to put like a little pin in and come back to on this show as well. I think it's one of the big discussions of the horror community right now is elevated horror. Is that term offensive, or maybe if not offensive, then incorrect? And if if it is incorrect, is there something going on that they're trying to define? They're just not doing it in the right way. Or are these movies just like that? We've always had like the Rosemary's Babies. We've always had movies that are horror kind of second, but they're art house films first, right? They've got bigger things on their minds,
right?
Than necessarily just like someone running around with their shirt ripped open, being chased by a guy wielding a knife, right. So that's something I'd love to come back to because I think it's a huge topic. But that's a great hate right there, sir. A great hate. Ryan Ross Live, you've got a love and a hate that you're sitting on over there.
I do.
And I'm curious to hear what they are.
So,
Yes.
Killer thing in horror for me.
Yeah.
I love it when we've got some sort of supernatural, unknowable entity tied into the narrative.
Yes.
I love the new aspect of Hellraiser, although I think that they didn't capitalize on it enough. I love what they did with Empty Man. I want more esoteric dark force horror, creatures acting in the background, puppeteering things.
You're
I love
Ian's language right now. Yeah.
I reference Stranger Things a lot in this show. I don't know if either of you have watched Stranger Things. But my favorite thing on Stranger Things is the Mind Flayer. I think the Mind Flayer is so cool. And I was actually really disappointed, spoiler alert for season 4 of Stranger Things, for anyone who hasn't watched it. I was really disappointed when they revealed that the Mind Flayer is kind of being puppeted by what's essentially a dude. I thought that was a really disappointing twist. And I'm hoping that there's more to that because I thought the Mind Flayer as an entity was so cool. Like, I love big, dark, horror-y entities and I love big, dark, horror-y villains. I want to see more of that. That's my shit. I will
Cosmic
say
horror, by the way, Ryan Ross Live. That's a simple term. Cosmic horror. We can find that for you.
I know. I'm excited about it.
You're gonna love it.
I'm so excited to find more cosmic horror for you, dude, because there's so much good shit of that out there. It's so much of it.
I'm excited. I had to scratch my unearned jump scares because somebody said it was easy. So
You
let
can
me.
still discuss
I came up with a new one. It's unnecessary animal violence.
Oh,
fuck it. It's
I agree with
unnecessary. It's not worth it. It doesn't add anything to the movie. We've seen it a couple times this season, both in Cannibal Ferox and in Inside. There's no reason to kill the cat. There's a whole book of like, don't kill the cat. It's a whole, it's a very famous, like, how to make movies. Save the cat. Thank you.
Yeah.
Save the cat is like how you divide the beats of movies and stuff. Like, you don't need it. It doesn't add anything. Killing the dog in Audition was unnecessary. It was a shock moment that didn't matter. And yes, it was like, it was heavy, but the movie was heavy already. You didn't need it. Don't do an unnecessary animal violence. It's dumb and it ultimately is depraved. And I think
I'm going to add on to you here because I think sometimes animal violence can be done in a movie to show exactly how depraved and sick a character is. But if it's done just as like a random, throwaway, I agree. It's kind of like a bad jump scare. It's unearned.
If there's purpose to it, if it is meant to drive a point home, that is different than just doing it. And I would argue that the only one that comes close to that is Audition. Audition, there is like, you could make an argument that it's deepening how twisted this woman is, but I don't think it's necessary to do that. I don't think that we've truly seen any, and I don't like using the term justified animal violence already feels wrong, but
Cujo comes to mind.
Yeah, Cujo's
I haven't seen Cujo, so, but either way, like, if it doesn't actively, if it isn't strictly necessary to the plot, animal violence should not be included.
I will go one further and I will say, especially if it's real, looking at you, Cannibal Ferox, looking at you, Cannibal Holocaust, etc., etc., etc. Those are good. That's good stuff, guys. And that leads us to, that's killer. It was killer. It was killer, man. Here we are down from the surf capital of the world, Southern California, bro.
Tubular, bodacious.
I would love to make a horror remake of Point Break, bro.
Dude, where's my knife?
I would be so down. I'd be so down for that. Hell's Hot Takes. Hot takes, baby.
Oh man, we've already hit some spicy ones, and
we've already got some spicy ones.
Now we're in the segment that was meant for it.
It was meant for spicy stuff. God. This is where we're gonna. I don't know. well, maybe you guys are going to get in trouble. I don't think I've got any that are going to get me in trouble per se, but I've got some that people might not agree with. What is some horror opinions you guys have that's going to have everyone pointing their swords at you like the one meme from the guy in the Disney movie? I don't even know what movie it's from. But you know
It's
the meme
Tangled,
I'm talking about.
for the record.
Is it
Yeah,
Tangled?
Tangled, yeah.
Cool.
Rapunzel.
Disney movies. Don't know this stuff. What?
Which is ironic because you would love Flynn Rider. But I'll start.
Yeah, he's
His
pretty good.
name is Flynn Rider.
He's
Yes,
got
and you would
so
love
much.
him.
He really, like, you two would be best friends if you were a cartoon.
You would
be.
love
Flynn?
him.
Flynn. He's got a porn name.
No,
Well,
kind of.
it's-
He's
that is-
really
that is
good
a-
character.
I'm not going to spoil the movie for you. It's not his real name. You would love him, Sir Ian Dangerous. Now,
Flynn
moving
Rider.
forward,
I didn't give myself that name. All right, go ahead. Hell's hot takes. Ryan, you seem eager.
I have
Go
three,
ahead.
and they're in escalating moments of it. They're at escalating levels of intensity. One,
Okay.
too many horror movies don't prioritize quality dialogue. Cough,
Oh.
cough, Hellraiser.
Motherfucker.
Dialogue is what makes the characters interesting and feel fleshed out. And too many horror movies skimp on dialogue because they think that's not necessary to the plot. Dialogue matters. Number two, too many horror movies don't invest in their villains. They rely on either the circumstance or they rely on powers or they rely on whatever. And there's not enough deep, interesting villains. The only ones that are good are either so mysterious that they don't do anything and you're trying to figure them out, or you've got like some that are like really fleshed out. Like, oh, we look at Silence of the Lambs. Like really quality villains, but there should be more quality, fleshed out, cool villains in horror that aren't just mysterious entity, strange man standing in shadows. And last but not least, number three, the one that's going to really put me on the hot seat. 80s horror movies,
Oh no.
known as
Oh,
the golden
no.
era of horror,
Oh,
Are-
this goes with one of my
Dude.
hot takes, Ryan. Go for
Dude.
it.
are slow.
Go for it. Ah!
Oh.
Do not actively capitalize on true quality practical effects the majority of the time. There are exceptions. I will give like Nightmare on Elm Street has some really cool practical effects with there are some, but most of them Alien cheesy. Relies way too much on suspense. Not enough happens. The suit is terrible.
Whoa.
The 80s
Whoa.
Established what horror could be so that it could be
No.
built upon in the 90s and 2000s. Because the 80s, things were too slow and too easy and they weren't scary enough.
Oh my God. Oh my God. You infant. How dare you say that about an
Cheers,
era you had
boys.
no idea. God. yeah,
Fucking cheers, boys.
Oh, we're.
Wow.
I don't
You
have a-
used
I don't have a
Alien
sword
as
here.
an example?
I use Alien because
Alien as
Alien
an
is slow as shit. Almost nothing happens in Alien. The whole movie of Alien is waiting
my
around for something to happen. And the few times it does happen, it happens off screen. You imagine it. You don't even see it. And the few times you see the alien, it's a big plastic suit.
Oh. You are so young.
Cheers.
Sometimes.
You
You just
your attention
need,
span.
It's like you need it like boom, boom, boom. Okay, oh man.
You-
There
Dan,
are great
Dan.
horror movies out there, and Alien is slow.
I'm gonna get to you in a
I'm-
second, Ryan Rotzlive. Dan Marchimandis, you can't tell him. You've accused a couple of movies on this show of being slow.
That's true. No, but this is why when he said that, this is where like my one. I wrote down 3 hot takes. 2 of them are not really related to stuff that we really talked about too much. So, but the one that I do have kind of goes in line with it. That I will take a 90s Scream and post-Scream era movie over any 80s golden era movie.
Oh
There
my
it
God.
is.
Yeah,
Two
I
for
would.
three,
I
baby!
would. I would. I think it's like, it's when I really started to love horror was during that time period. And
Don't you
like
gloat,
Ryan said,
Ryan.
there's some
the
that are,
tears of
there
my
are-
co-hosts.
there are a beat, some of them are real slow. I mean, look at Hellraiser. It took a long time for me to
what?
like get into it. But Alien is what
Hellraiser is faster than Alien.
Dan, you can't have it both ways, man.
I know.
Either,
I know you
either
can't.
More happens in Hellraiser than Alien.
I'm just saying I'm not downplaying 80s horror. I'm just saying that my hot take is that if you gave me a 90s era movie to watch or you gave me 80s era, which one are we watching? I'd always choose the 90s. I'd always choose it.
I mean, this is actually coming down to, it's kind of a cliche. It's coming down to our generational differences.
True. Yeah.
I grew
agree.
up in the 80s watching 80s movies. I remember how I felt when I first watched them, and they weren't slow, and the special effects were fantastic because compared to what we had at the time, it was the best there was. It was the most exciting there was. You know what, though? To Ryan's credit here, I recently went back and watched some Friday the 13th movies. They're terrible. They're actively bad.
I will also point out, you specifically mentioned Alien and you mentioned like the time period. Star Wars versus Alien, same time period. And I will give Alien this. Alien's set design is incredible. I will give you that the spaceship in Alien and the set design is awesome. But the suit in Alien compared to any prosthetics in Star Wars, night and day. I'm talking the originals. Like, it looks like a suit.
Goes back to the Mos Eisley Cantina. They're literally holding up a head on a stick and twisting it around.
But
You
it
can't
looks
tell
more
me that-
believable than the Alien.
You're out of your mind.
am
Just because you
not,
don't
sir.
like looking at a giant penis monster, which is what the alien is, that doesn't mean that.
Admiral
Come on,
Akbar looks far more realistic than the Alien, and I
that
will
was
die on that hill.
1980. That was 1982 Return of the Jedi. By the way, that had 5
and
years.
when was Alien? And
to
Alien was
improve.
77.
Yes,
Okay,
76, 77.
we're looking it up. I'm checking.
Right around there. My point is, they're all. Dude, you're making me insane. This is just
79.
the only reason that you're saying all this is because your short attention span has been rotted from the inside by
That's
your
not
Twitch
true.
and your tickety-tockety.
It was 79 and 83 for the record. It was 4 years of progress.
Okay. 4 years apart, and they had a lot.
And I will say, if
more money.
costume design, that's true, and I will give you that one. But if 4 years of costume design makes it that much more believable, that's a fault of Alien. I'm just saying.
Oh
Wow.
my God.
Man.
Yeah, well, you know what? Success.
Hot
Success,
take, baby.
That's a spicy one. That's a spicy one. Dan, your turn. Can you get anywhere close to that in terms of spicy nectar?
No, I can't. I can't. I
give
have,
up.
Start
Like
Oh,
I said,
Ryan.
I
Ryan
had the
wins
one
the
hot
game.
take that I would take 90s over 80s. The other two that I came up like aren't really anything that we talked about too much. I can mention
Yeah.
them, but they're
Fire.
not really anything that like
We're throwing in.
in terms of the horror world, a lot of people hate what Rob Zombie did with Halloween and the character, and I actually kind of like that he explored it a bit more. Ryan, we haven't seen any Halloween yet in this, but Rob
Well,
Zombie
the first
did.
one. Wait, one or two? Are you defending Halloween?
Both.
Rob Zombie's Halloween. You're defending Zombie's Halloween too. You're
Yes,
defending
because it's so fucking weird that he tried to do something different, at least with the character. Like, as much as they like really like, I mean, by the time you get to the Cult of Thorn shit that comes in later, and like they just went crazy with Michael Myers, whereas he tried to do something talking about
make
his
a-
like trying to understand trying to understand the shape and like what would make somebody do that. Did he succeed? I don't think he succeeded at it.
No, he
But I think that I like that he tried to do something different. Like, he was given Halloween and he was able to do something, and he tried something different. Halloween 2 is so fucking weird, but it's
once saw a guy try to take a shit while doing a backflip. It was different and weird. It didn't mean that it needed to be done.
You
Ouch.
saw
And-
this?
Yes, it's LA.
Wow.
But my point is that just because he's trying to do something different and weird doesn't excuse the movie. You can go in the completely wrong direction and try to do something different and weird. I don't know if anybody understands what the fuck he was thinking when he tried to make his Halloween 2. And having seen some of his other movies, I don't know if he always knows what he's doing.
Maybe he
I think-
doesn't.
Yeah, sometimes that dude's
I
just
still
Making
That was just
vibes.
my hot take because I at
That's
least
a hot take.
I liked what he was trying to explore. He kind of failed.
Don't back down,
failed.
Dan. It's your
No,
hot
but
take.
I liked it. I liked it. The other one I had is The Walking Dead ruined zombie subgenre for me. The Walking Dead.
That
was
is
really-
a spicy take. I know some
Yeah,
people are going to be very offended by
it,
that
like,
take.
It had a great first few seasons. Once they killed Glenn, I said fuck that show, and it just like it with
Spoiler.
all the different iterations that it had, and for all the like different like there's four spin-offs now. Rick's like dead, then he's not dead, and it's like it just completely lost what the zombie subgenre could do and could be, and like how smart it is. And you know, you have amazing films like Train to Busan that kind of reinvented a little bit and have their own take. And I think The Walking Dead just like drug it out where I was like, fucking zombies. Like I used to love that subgenre, and that whole show just ruined it for me.
I will agree with you on one condition, that we modify it, that Walking Dead didn't kill the genre, it burned everyone out on it. It was the point at
Yeah,
which people
I can agree
became
with you that.
overloaded with zombies. Everything was zombies in the 2000s, right? Ever since 28 Days Later and the Dawn of the Dead remake, it was zombies everywhere.
Yeah.
We had zombie romantic comedies. We had everything.
What was that zombie romantic comedy
Warm
called?
Bodies.
Warm
Yeah,
Bodies.
Warm Bodies,
That was
yeah.
it. You're absolutely
So,
right.
We had all of that. And by
Zombieland.
Zombieland, by the time, you know, that's the thing. Zombieland was all meta. Shaun of the Dead. By the time we got to that point, people had started getting burned out, and then Walking Dead just drove that into the ground. But as you said,
Yeah.
there's still good zombies movies being made. 28 years later just came out, Train to Busan. I just watched one called Mads from France.
That's great.
I
yeah.
heard the 28 days or 28 years later wasn't very good.
I've heard both. I've heard I've heard 28 weeks later wasn't good either, and they're wrong. That movie is amazing.
It's great.
So,
yeah.
The zombie genre is still alive. Walking Dead didn't kill it, but man, it burned people out on it.
That's a better way to put it, I guess. Yes. But
Yeah.
it really hurt it. It really hurt it.
It did. I think that's a good
Interesting.
take. All right, I've got a couple of takes here. I don't know how hot they are, but they're certainly they're weird.
I love how all of
here's-
us like leaned into out of all of the games we decided to play today. Some of it, like I felt weak in the first one, but then I came in strong in the last one, and then like you're like, I don't know how hot my takes are. Everyone's got ones that they like capitalized on. That's
I'm like an idiot. Early on this show, I bared my soul and I like showed off my bullseye to you, which is don't hurt my Hellraiser, and then you've just been bing.
Well, that and Juno. To be fair, you had your hot take with Juno earlier.
I stand by that. You're
insane.
I don't know if I'm going to get a hotter take than that, but here's a big one. This is one that I think could be open to a big discussion. It's not original. It's been around for a while. I actually, I've heard it before, but the one I liked best was when Boris Karloff said that the genre shouldn't be called horror. Horror is a terrible name for the genre because it indicates revulsion. It makes you think that people want to recoil away from something. Instead, the genre should be called, and there's already a genre called this, but it should be expanded, and that all of it should be called thriller instead of horror, because that indicates excitement. You're there to be thrilled, to be excited, to be brought up in energy, not to be revulsed and disgusted. And I think what's happened is thriller has become something where there's no blood. It's just like it's tense, right? There's suspense, but there's not really anything too gross or potentially off-putting. And then horror has become anytime that there's anything slightly gross or blood or gore or whatever. And I think that you can have a movie with blood and gore that's a thriller. That's not an outright horror movie. And I think there are movies that are horror movies that are specifically out to revolt you. I think Terrifier 3 is a horror movie. It's out to fuck you up. I think the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a horror movie. It's out to fuck you up.
The French No Extremity.
Some of the French New Extremity, I think could fall into both categories. But I think I would like to see the term thriller expanded, because I know a lot of people who are put off by the concept of a horror movie. Ryan, maybe you can speak to this. If it was called thrillers, if a lot of the movies we watched this season were called thrillers instead of horror movies, would you have stayed away from them?
I think so. Personally, I feel like thrillers tend to be more actiony. Thrillers are more about, to your point, excitement, drama, tension. Horror may or may not indicate that. And so I think that I would argue that a number of the movies that we watched this season still wouldn't qualify as thrillers. I'm looking at Angel Heart isn't really a thriller. It doesn't really have enough excitement or really like drive to be a thriller.
That's your perspective now looking back at an 80s movie, but okay.
But the thing is, like, it's a mystery movie, right? Like, it is you're solving a noir film. It's ultimately,
it's a noir.
And noir is a slow burn. You have a big burn at the end, but you've got this slow burn throughout. I don't think that qualifies as a thriller.
You have a big burn at the end. Mickey Rourke's soul.
Correct.
Yeah.
Whereas like Gerald's Game. Like Gerald's Game was also kind of a slow burn movie. I don't know that I would qualify those as thrillers. Empty Man, I would say could probably qualify as a thriller. Or there are elements of maybe like, let me look at our list here.
Well, maybe this is another scenario.
Green Room was more of a thriller.
Green Room, I could see. Descent, I could see. Fall, all of those. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like all the ones where things like start to ramp up and things get more tense and more like things start to escalate and roll downhill. I would argue are more thriller movies. Even Inside has the structure of a thriller, but I would also argue, to your point, escalates beyond what could be classified as a thriller into horror. And so I feel like it kind of depends on like the contents of the movie. I don't disagree with the take. I think that the take has merit. I would classify it as a medium take. I wouldn't classify it as spicy or mild. But I agree with it for the most part.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Yeah. I definitely agree. That
means it's a medium take. Yeah. If you both are like, I see aspects of your point that I can go.
It's a medium take.
It's a medium take. Here's another one. We talked on the show about gateway horror, right? What is a gateway horror movie? Ryan, you said Scooby-Doo Zombie Island. Dan, you threw out Neverending Story. That's a good one. I threw out Watership Down was one of my gateway horror movies.
It was also the Monster Squad.
Monster Squad's great. That's a total gateway horror. Throwing people in deep on the Universal monsters right there. You gotta know everyone. Frankenstein, Dracula, Mummy, Fishman, and Wolfman, Nards, and all. But I think one of the most underrated gateway horrors of all time is something from the top-selling album of all time. The number one selling album of all time. One of the greatest selling VHSs of all time.
Going to.
Yep.
The song that is still played every single year at Halloween, Michael Jackson's Thriller.
Totally agree. Yep.
I agree.
And I don't say that just because of the song itself. Vincent Price himself guest
the narrating
on there. But also because people forget when that music video came out, directed by John Landis, coming off of American Werewolf in London. You talk about zombies and introducing zombies to the mainstream. That is the biggest influence for horror getting into the mainstream that I could possibly think of. And if someone can come along and tell me a bigger explosion of horror iconography into the top of the mainstream, I dare you to find one. That's the biggest gateway of all time.
I won't challenge you on that. I do agree with you, but this conversation spurs another idea that I hadn't considered of, I will also throw in, again, not at the same scale as Thriller. I agree with you that Thriller's bigger, but I'm going to throw in The Mummy. Of like The Mummy with Brendan Fraser, and like there are some.
That's an action movie.
It is, but it also has horror elements in it. It definitely has like the unhinged jaw, the bugs eating people. Like there are horror elements within the movie. But
here's what I'm going to take back over real quick. But if you go watch Thriller, it's the way that it's filmed. It's filmed like horror movie. They have scenes taken straight from horror movies. The zombie makeup. The Mummy is an action movie with horror tropes and some horror stuff sprinkled in, but it is an action movie and a comedy and Indiana Jones style adventure movie first and foremost.
I do agree. I agree with both of those things. That is, and I also agree that Thriller is on a much larger scale than Mummy in terms of
Massive.
horror as a horror bridge.
Yeah, absolutely massive. It sold, let me look, 51.3 million copies.
Wow.
That album.
It's one of the
That's-
top selling tracks of all time, isn't it?
yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane. So
I mean,
all right.
even like my the movie Sing, and then they came out with Sing 2.
Yep.
Just this past year, they came out with a short film, Sing Thriller, and it was just them covering Thriller, the characters from these movies. So my daughters were like watching Thriller for the first time, but through these animated characters. So it's
How
still
many
alive
people-
and well.
How many people, the first time they ever hear Vincent Price's voice is in Thriller?
Agree. Yeah, it has to be. It has to be a huge amount of people that don't even
So-
know who that is. They
Nope,
don't even know.
No idea.
Yeah.
They just hear a voice. I had when I first heard Thriller, I had no idea who Vincent Price was. But you damn right I found out. All right,
Yep.
so I've got one more here, and then actually I got one more and then like kind of a half one. All right, so here's my last spicy take. Remakes are awesome. We should do more of them.
Wow.
Yeah, I said it. Remakes are great.
Wow.
Give me more remakes. If you want, I got a whole bunch of movies I'd love to see remade. Now, if anyone thinks that remakes are terrible and they're always bad, like, yes, we've had a bunch of bad remakes. The Martyrs remake we talked about the Fog remake, Wicker Man, where everyone made fun of that. Gus Van Sant remaking Psycho shot for shot. Why? Green Inferno remaking all the cannibal movies. Like, yeah, a lot of remakes suck, but a lot of remakes are better than the original movies. Hills Have Eyes, right?
Yeah.
Dracula's been remade a bunch of times. Nosferatu how many times has that been remade? Great movies. Dawn of the Dead remake, totally different movie, badass movie. The Blob. You just mentioned The Mummy. The Invisible Man, the Ring,
The
the
Fog.
American remake. The Fog remake was terrible. But John Carpenter, The Thing. The Thing was a remake of Thing from Another World. That was a remake. There's The Fly. There's a lot of remakes that are better or as good as in different ways.
Hellraiser.
Body Snatchers.
Yeah. Oh man,
That's not, it's like a reboot. What
he's
is?
just
Come on,
putting it-
man.
I
It was
think
right
that-
there.
He's just gonna be saying
What do
that
you
randomly.
expect from me.
Seeing if he
I
can
think
get my
that
goat.
if I will totally agree with you, because I feel like but I will say that I think that the horror genre itself has some of the best remakes, because
Yes.
there's been remakes of action movies, remakes of
I'm talking about horror.
dramas, right, of horror. So like,
I'm talking
but
about
if you're
horror.
talking about film overall,
No.
if you
I'm
just say
talking about horror
remakes, there's been a
remakes.
lot of shitty remakes, but horror remakes definitely, I think, because the horror genre is so smart in the way that it can, like, package up a metaphor and make it this super scary thing. You can then interpret that in so many different ways, so that you like, yes, I'm remaking The Thing, but it's going to be so different from the 50s version. It's like, if they remade The Thing again, maybe it's totally different this time. But I agree. I think that it done with the right talent, with the right director, with the right crew and cast, then a remake can be something like that completely changes it, makes it something new and fresh and exciting to watch again, where it just shares like the same title, but it can be something completely different. I agree.
Can I give you like a small list I compiled of movies
Yes,
I would love to see
please.
remade?
I want to hear it.
Okay, I'd love to see a remake of some of these you're never going to have heard of, but trust me, they're great. Count Yorga, Vampire. I'd love to see a remake of Count Yorga. He's one of the coolest vampires in history. Basket Case, Dan Henenlotter.
Oh,
Great. I hope to one day get one of the Basket Case movies on this show, because that shit is insanity. And I know it was part of what made those work is the being in fucked up New York of the time. But those movies are amazing. I'd love to see a remake there. A small movie from Amicus called The Beast Must Die. It's a werewolf movie with Peter Cushing that's absolutely outstanding. It's terrible, but it could use a remake. But the basic kernel there is great, and there's a lot of good stuff in it. It's just the werewolf. They put like they put a rug on a collie for the werewolf, and so it looks terrible. But Curse of the Undead, which is a vampire western, could be great for a remake.
That's fun.
Oh, it's sick. That movie's sick. It's just it could be remade and be really great. 50s classic, The Brain That Wouldn't Die, which is the famous one. You see the woman with the cowl with her head in a tray on a desk. It's great. Trust me. The original is just complete corny claptrap, but it's amazing. It would be such a cool remake. They kind of did it with Reanimator, but I mean, I want to see specifically The Brain That Wouldn't Die. Brotherhood of the Wolf, kind of a recent one from the early 2000s. I feel like that it's got kind of shady early 2000s CGI. I think that could be redone in a modern way, really cool, or even like a sequel, like a late sequel. Speaking of wolves, Werewolves on Wheels. This is a passion project I've got. It's a werewolf movie about werewolf bikers.
Oh, of course.
That's
Enough
fun.
said. Werewolf.
That's
Imagine. Here's the pitch. Right, Sons of Anarchy, but they're werewolves.
That's great. Yeah.
Done.
I'd
Dead
watch
and
that.
Buried. Dr. Phibes, the Dr. Phibes series. Imagine instead of Vincent Price, Gary Oldman as Dr. Phibes.
Ooh, Gary Oldman and anything's good.
Sold. And finally, here's one you might know, Dan. Ginger Snaps.
Oh, that'd be fun. Yeah,
That would be
why not make that? That would be great.
Incredible remake. It's like a coming of age about werewolves in high school, like Mean Girls with werewolves.
Yeah.
Come on.
That would be great.
Right.
A lot of werewolf remakes.
I am a big werewolf man. Not a lot of good werewolf movies.
I'm
Not
a
a lot
big
of good werewolf
vampire
movies.
guy, so we're at odds now.
Is that well? That makes sense.
That's
you
just
look
Twilight.
like you're.
You guys are
Yeah, I was
just
about to say
describing
it
Twilight.
looks like he's team Robert Pattinson or whatever it's called. You kind of have a passing resemblance to Robert Pattinson. All right, and I've got one more quick.
question mark.
Hey, I mean, better that than the Taylor guy, the werewolf goofball.
Oh yeah,
Taylor
yeah, yeah.
Lautner. One last thing. Okay, so we all kind of agree that we're just like generally in the world now in the wrong timeline, right? Everything's kind of gone sideways. The world's all crazy and kooky. The moment that broke the world, not David Bowie's death in 2016, not the death of Harambe. It was when Rotten.com closed down in 2012. That's when everything started to go sideways. Rotten.com closed down and everyone lost their mind.
Wow.
I'm not familiar with this website at all.
That's one that only the hardcore sickos are going to get. All right, boys, going on to our next section here. The Resurrection score. This is one where we are going to look at all of our scores that we gave movies.
Wow.
This is Ryan's favorite section.
We've been waiting.
He loves Statman.
Statman.
Come
We've
in.
been waiting for the resurrection score.
We are going to go back and look at all of our scores, all 25 movies we watched this season. We get to choose one to change our score, one that we look back and said, that was an egregious choice. We should not have rated it that low or that high. And we're going to fix that now. Let's see. Dan, you haven't gone first yet today, I don't think. Dan, why don't you go first and you tell us what score you want to change?
I looked through all the Scully ratings and I really was sticking by most of them. This was tough. I really was, but I had
you
one.
don't have to change one. You could.
No, I don't, but I kind of want to because
Okay.
I was looking at I saw that I gave Cannibal Ferox a 2. And
oh my gosh, out of all of them, you're going to change Cannibal Ferox?
No, I'm not changing it. You'll see.
Okay.
So I gave Cannibal Ferox a 2.
Mm-hmm.
But then I gave Willow Creek a 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Willow Creek is just so bad
Oh no!
that I'm making Willow Creek a 2 because it's just that bad.
Gosh. Okay.
It's just that I got.
Oh, we're
I
starting strong.
I rewatched our the social piece that I helped put together of the audio, and it just kept frustrating me more and more.
You were
And
really mad about the audio.
I
in
was
that
mad.
It's
I
a
was
terrible
mad
movie.
It's a terrible movie, and I was like, at least Cannibal Ferox, I could laugh at a lot of it, and it tried to do some crazy weird stuff. It was so bad. We even have like a whole segment of the show based off of a character from that movie. So I was like, if I'm gonna give Cannibal Ferox a 2, then Willow Creek's got to be right there with it. So I'm just dropping Willow Creek down.
I am
God.
flabbergasted and thrilled
It's
by
just
this
bad.
outcome.
Just a bad movie.
I have to say a big I'm sorry to Bobcat Goldthwait. I love
No,
him.
you don't. He
I
doesn't
do.
deserve it.
He does. I love Bobcat.
I could
They
make
ate
that
some
movie
Bigfoot
with
meat. They ate some
$500.
Bigfoot hamburgers.
It's
They
so
ate some
bad.
hamburgers. They put a woman in like underwear at the end, and then they just screamed inside of a tent for 12 freaking minutes.
Oh my god, it's so
a terrible
bad.
movie. It's a terrible movie.
All
So,
right.
that's
Well,
it. That's
Willow Creek gets absolutely
dropping.
eviscerated.
It does. I'm
Getting
I'm
sunk
not
down.
sorry.
I
That's
love it. I love
Yeah.
it, Dan. I love it.
All right, Ryan, your turn. What score are you changing in your Scullies?
All right. Here's the deal.
Oh man.
Early in the season, I made a horrible mistake because I was mad. And I still am mad to a degree, but
You rated
I
Hellraiser
was-
too low?
I was not fair to Gerald's game.
Oh.
I gave Gerald's game a 5.
Wow.
which is not
that is
fair.
pretty low. That
That is
very
not
low.
I
fair.
thought that was a typo. Genuinely thought that was a typo.
I was mad at the ending. They
yeah.
undermined so much of the story in the ending. And I do still stand by that the ending is rough, but the rest of the movie is very good. And I would recommend that movie to people. And I have said later in the season that I would not recommend anything below a 6 unless it failed as a movie. And I do not think that Gerald's Game fails as a movie. I think it is a genuinely good movie. I think that the ending sucks, but that the movie is still good. I have to bump it up. I'm going to bump it up to a 7.5.
All right.
I think that
All
it
right.
is good. I think
Yeah.
that it does have some failures. I think that overall, I look back on it very fondly. I do think that the ending is very cheesy. I debated 7.5 or 8, and I settled on 7.5 because I do still stand by the fact that I think that the end of the movie generally undermines a lot of the message of the movie prior to the ending. But
I
it
think
is much better than a 5.
I think that's very smart of you to do, because as we continue our journey into the bowels of horror moviedom, you will find that bad endings are a thing.
Which sucks.
They're a thing.
Yeah, it
That
does suck.
They're a thing. You don't
Third
you'll get
acts
used
are
to
tough.
You
for
can't
get used
screw
to
up
it.
the ending.
Yeah, well,
That's something. Talk about hot takes. That pisses me off. You gotta fucking nail the landing. But anyway,
I agree. That's the difference between a great horror movie and a classic. You have to nail the ending. I agree. But I gave a movie this year a 10, and it still has one of the worst endings of all time, and that's Hellraiser with the stupid bone dragon flying away out of the fire for whatever
That's
goddamn reason. Doesn't ruin the movie though. Still a 10.
speaking of your scores,
I thought, and I admit, I looked at that and I was like, I gave Hellraiser a 10 in a fit of I guess temporary insanity, because I love the movie so much. It is not a perfect movie. It's not a perfect 10. But after this episode today, I am going to leave it at a 10 because
of course you are. Of course you are.
I blame that on you, Ryan. He might have
And
switched it, but
I own it.
you went for
I
it
will
too-
die
so
on this
many
hill.
times.
And I need the audience to know that I can actually see our Excel spreadsheet, and Ryan had the cursor on Hellraiser ready to change the.
You said
You were
it.
so excited.
I
you
was.
shit.
Well, I
You were
wasn't
so
as
excited
excited.
to
I was
change it.
shocked. I was shocked. But it is my job to update the data.
Yes, you were way too excited to update that one, I note. But I was actually all season long. I thought I had scored 967 evil, 976 evil. You have it as 967 976 evil.
Oh, is it wrong?
I had that too high at a 7.5. I still think I have it like 0.5 or so too high. It was early in the run of the season, early in the show. I was excited about it. I do have a really soft spot for that movie, but looking down the Scully spreadsheet that Statman Ryan Ross Live has made for us here, I realized there is one movie that just stands out as just not fitting in with all the rest of where I've rated things. The one that I think I really kind of I overrated it actually, and it's a movie that I really love, but I gave it too much love, perhaps because you guys rated it so low, and that was Angel Heart. which I gave a 9.
Interesting.
I gave that a 9, and it's not a 9 movie. It's just not. I love that movie. It's very good, but it is more like, let me look at all, let me make sure of this. I'm going to look at all my other scores here. That's an 8. It's an 8.
Okay.
It's all the other movies that I'm looking at that are 8s. I think it fits in with them much better.
I will say, I will throw out there that Angel Heart was on my short list of like, I also think I was not fair enough to Angel Heart.
Yeah, you
This
were a
was
little low
also-
there, buddy. You gave it a 6.
I gave it a 6, and I do think it's better than a 6, but I can only adjust one score, and
You
I
can
was
only
harsher
adjust
to
one.
Gerald's game.
Yeah.
And so I
were.
like Gerald's game deserves the lift more than Angel Heart does, but I will say it was on my short list of consideration because I don't think that Angel Heart is a 6, but
Yeah. Doesn't deserve it as much as Hellraiser does, being raised from a 7. You savage. But that being said,
too bad the dialogue sucks.
well, too bad you don't understand good dialogue. So we had a little caveat with this where we said if the other two hosts vote against it, we can't change the score and you're stuck with it. But do I hear any dissents for these score changes? Anyone got any beef with anyone else's score changes? Are we going to allow all these Scully changes to go through? Yay
Does
or
anybody
nay?
fight me on Willow Creek?
No. I can.
Honestly,
I'm sad.
I think we all agree. It seemed like we all kind of sensed where each other was coming
Yeah.
from. I think that's
Yeah.
all pretty fair changes.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, then we're running long. We had a feeling it was going to be a big blowout
It's
show,
the
but
finale. It's fine.
it's fine. It's the season finale. It's a blowout big season finale. Thank you all for sticking with us. We are going now into our final segment here, the setup for season 2. We got to do some
It is
rolling.
time.
So Ryan Ross Live was kind enough to provide both Dan and myself with some lovely dice. We now
I'm the
have our-
D&D guy. I had to get you
you're the
guys
D-
some D20s.
I know. So this
I
is
love
great.
it.
So we are now going to start doing rolls for things on this show. If we
Gonna
need to
show-
decide anything,
Mine's covered with the blood of Boy Scouts, I guess. It looks like here
Why are you
from
like this?
Ryan.
Why would you do this to me? Mine has a little blood on it too.
all those Boy Scouts you're keeping in the closet, hung up,
Okay.
strung up on their
I'm not a
spines.
fan of this line of theme.
What, my friend? You were the one who said that you knew about how
So
blood
actually,
works
hold
in
on.
knife wounds because
wanna
of
know
Boy
something?
Scouts.
I will
You're-
here. I will give you guys a behind the scenes. I'll give you a little story. It's very short, but I'll give you a story. This was before I worked at the summer camp.
Tell the
But-
jury.
This is before I worked at the summer camp. I was not there for this occurrence, but the thing that made the summer camp that I worked at notable was that we took theme very seriously. Like we built sets, we jumped off of buildings into moving cars. Like we did a bunch of crazy stuff for like, basically we had a storyline every year. And we would have heroes and villains, and whoever was the program director got to make a theme. And so we had Greek gods and Indiana Jones and spies and mafia and all sorts of different themes throughout the years. Well, one of the years that before I was there as a staff member was a medieval themed year. And what we learned on that year and proved in subsequent years is that if you had a villain in the story, which most of the stories, of course, did, you could not make the villain faceless. The reason being, generally speaking, the children at these Boy Scout camps were between ages 11 and like 16. But 11 to 13, what we learned is if you get a whole group of like young adults that they look up to, like telling them that these are like terrible villains or whatever, if the villains are masked, they will dehumanize the villains to the point that one staff member did get stabbed by people by children at the camp because he got jumped because he was the bad guy for the story, and they set up an ambush for him and jumped him and stabbed him in the shoulder. And
What is going on right now?
we had following years where we had faceless villains, and one of them at one point got attacked with a crowbar. And at that point, we finally learned you can't have the villains be under masks. You have to have the villains be
fucking
faced,
camp is
or else
this?
the kids
Where are
will
you?
attack them.
What is going on?
This
What
is a real
did
thing.
the parents say? Like, were the parents involved in it? What?
This is I can call the guy who was stabbed. I'm still in contact with this guy.
You
I am
put
really
yourself out there as having
bit-
no knowledge of horror, and yet you went to a horror camp for how many years?
I worked there for
I
7
don't-
years.
I-
I was never stabbed. I never witnessed any stabbing.
Right,
And
but why
for
did
the
you
record,
stab the one guy?
I
Just
did
because
it.
he had a mask?
I did it.
You stabbed him because you had a mask. Well, I know plausible deniability. It's okay. Wink, wink.
Wow.
We know.
Sure.
Okay. So,
Anyway, but there's your backstory. These things are real.
Story just made everything worse. In my
explain
opinion.
nothing.
It
Yeah,
made
it's
worse. It's just
this-
worse now, Ryan. I'm sorry.
I'll get him
That
as a
didn't
guest
help
star. He'll come
anything.
on sometime.
this is a rabbit
His
hole.
name's
that's-
Alex.
It's never going to end. This is
It's the
This is-
finale, season
That
one.
didn't help. That didn't help you at all.
oh
Ryan.
my god.
That backstory did just
This made it-
Don't worry.
it worse.
There's
so much
more.
weirder. Now we know why he needs people to call from the wilderness. He wants to know where you are. at
We had
all
a payphone.
times.
We had a payphone. It was the only way to get cell service.
Tell me
Or
where
not
you
cell
are,
service,
little boy
phone service.
scout. Don't
The
go out
only
in the
way to
woods
get cell
alone.
service was through a payphone.
Not cell service.
living
You
in
had
the
to-
Matrix.
You had to use coins.
I don't know.
You had to use
Okay.
coins. They had a payphone.
This is-
That's the only way to call people.
All right, this is falling apart. We got to bring it back in. We're supposed to be rolling for things right here, not diving down the deep, dark history of Ryan's.
Okay,
Summer
so
camp
explain how this
experiences.
works.
camp.
Explain how this works.
Okay, explain how it works. We're rolling. So first thing we're rolling for is
Oh my god.
first thing we're rolling for is we're rolling for hex. So
Hexes.
Okay.
Who's getting the hex?
who's getting the hex? We don't know what the hex is. Whoever gets the hex is going to be able to enact the hex at some point during the season of their
Yes.
choosing.
Season 2. Okay, cool.
Whatever is the highest score for this roll is going to get the hex. So everyone's going to roll, and we're going to reveal what we rolled on camera, so everybody
Okay.
can see it.
All right.
And whoever gets the highest roll is going to get the hex. All right.
Okay.
So we roll.
All right. So we're gonna roll, and I'm gonna hit the hex sound as we're rolling. I got a 10.
I rolled
got
a
a
7.
I got a 16.
It's Dan.
Oh, Dan!
Dan is
Dan
the holder
is-
of the hex.
Dan is the
Wow.
hex man.
Oh man, that's
So
exciting.
at some point, you get to
We'll
enact the
watch
hex during season 2.
a found footage movie.
Dan March a hex.
no, you get a 3. It's the next 3 movies.
Yeah. You could force
Oh,
us to do
yeah.
your
It's the
bidding.
same way that we did like the double features of like everybody had the next round of movies
I
has to
love
be
it.
the thing. So
Yep.
Got it. Okay.
So you get a hex, and now we're gonna roll for killer. So
Yes.
the lowest score is gonna get the killer unless somebody gets a 13, in which they are automatically the killer.
Okay.
What is it? What is it called? Like a natural 13.
A natural
Right.
13.
Natural 13. Okay, and the killer is the person who's going to be able to kill someone else's. Caveat.
Idea?
Yep. I got an 11.
I got
in the
7
middle of-
again.
What? Okay, I got a 19.
It's
So
me!
Ryan,
It's Ryan, the killer!
Ryan is
Uh-oh,
the killer.
Ryan's the
Damn.
killer. Oh,
Oh,
no.
no.
It's
All right,
almost
so
like
that-
prophesized. All right.
Oh,
Oh,
my
man.
god.
Last
All
but
right,
not
so that,
least.
so that means you were able to steal or override someone's prompt at any point in this next
I get
season.
to. I have a veto, baby.
Oh, who gave him the
Man.
power? And finally,
fate.
we're going to roll for the prompt order. We're going to reset the order this coming season.
Ooh.
This last season we were going Dan,
me first.
me,
Yeah. then
Ryan.
you. Yep.
But now in season
I'm gonna
2,
miss
it's gonna
finishing
switch up.
off rounds. I'll
It's
be
gonna-
honest. I'm gonna miss being the last one.
What do you're going to miss
yeah,
finishing off?
he misspoke a little bit.
No, I'm not.
It was inappropriate.
Finishing off rounds.
You're
That's the-
inappropriate.
That's not
Yeah.
inappropriate. You are
All
dirty
right.
minded. That's on
All
you.
right. Rolling for
Both
the
of you are
prompt order.
twisted men.
So wait, so how does this work? Oh, just
Lowest-
the number. Just
So
the,
lowest,
lowest is
goes
last.
Lowest
last,
goes first.
highest goes first.
Right.
Oh, interesting. Okay, here we go.
All right. 1, 2, 3, roll the dice. I got a lucky number 13.
I got 12.
9.
Uh,
Do I get to go last again?
You get to go last
I get
again.
to go last again.
So
And
Ian, then
I'm
me.
first. Yes.
Yeah. Then
Okay.
Wow.
So
All
we
right.
switch, and Ryan's still last.
Let's
Okay.
go. That's the
And he's
best.
the
I
killer.
love that.
Oh my god! All right,
Jeez.
season 2 is gonna be fun.
Oh my
All
god.
right.
Is he gonna
Well,
Best outcomes. I didn't roll above a 10 in 3 rolls.
good thing you're playing for these things and not in Dungeons and Dragons.
So are we
That-
making
that one was
choices
a
now
12.
from our bucket?
So we are
Now we gotta draw
we're
prompts,
gonna,
yeah.
We're gonna finish this off with drawing prompts out of our buckets of the beast. 666 possible prompts. Dan March of Madness has his
Look at how
Creek bucket.
scary that is.
Ryan Ross Lad, you have your Avengers bucket, and I have
do.
my cool little
Now
skull
on video.
of doom. All right, boys. So I guess we're all going to draw at the same time, and then we are going to reveal in reverse order. So Ryan, you'll reveal yours first, then Dan, and then myself. And when I reveal mine, I must then pick on the spot.
On the spot?
I am going to be on the
It's a lot of
spot
pressure.
for what movie we're going to watch.
I don't know.
I am shuffling. I am shuffling
all right.
I am glad I am not
Shuffle.
choosing on the spot.
shuffle.
Yeah,
I'll
I
pick
knew when I got that. I was not happy.
It kind of fits, Ian. I feel like. All right, I got one.
All right.
I'm laying it
All
down.
right.
All
I've got
set.
mine.
Draw.
All right, I reel
Oh,
first.
shit. Whoa.
All right. I've pulled mine. I have not looked at it.
Jeez.
Ryan Ross Live. What do you have?
I got Infect.
Oh,
Ooh.
that's great.
That's
So
a
I'm
cool
gonna
one.
have to figure out
Infect.
some sort of sickness or plague.
Oh.
Wow.
Infect that's a fantastic one to start with. Dan, March of Madness.
I
What
don't know
you
if
got
my
there?
camera will do that. I don't have it set to automatic focus, but
We'll
I
trust
got
you.
I got statue.
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 Okay.
Interesting. Like, I'm gonna have to think about that. Nothing like popped into my head immediately.
That's
But
perfect
I'm
for
gonna-
you because you do like to have somewhat obtuse titles based off your prompts, so that's
Yeah.
ideal for you right there.
It's
my
gonna
friend.
be. Mine's not gonna make sense at all. Probably.
I love it. I can't wait to be surprised. And for me, mine is cold.
Cold. Okay.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Come on,
okay.
focus, you bastard. All right.
Oh,
well,
we
trust
saw
me,
it. We saw it.
It's cold.
We did.
All right, so I need to pick mine right off the bat, and the first thing that comes to my mind when I think of the cold is things being frozen, perhaps frozen in ice, perhaps things being frozen for millennia under ice and being dug up by Swedish people. We're going to watch John Carpenter's The Thing
Yes, we are.
to open up season 2 of This Is Why You Died.
What a great opener. Oh, I'm so excited.
Fantastic. I'm excited as well.
So good.
What a great opener for the next season. I'm so glad I drew that.
Wow.
And that was the first thing that came to mind. All right, boys. Well, that is going to wrap up our season finale. Couple things on the way out. We have a place you can find all of our links now. Dan March of Madness, where can they find us?
It's a little bit long. We might change it in the future, but it is beacons.ai/TIWYD pod.
Yes.
So at
That's right.
beacons.
Links to our
AI.
Instagram, our TikTok, our Patreon coming up. By the time this episode airs, we should have the Patreon up and running. Yes.
And the YouTube, we should have by the time that this episode airs, we should have everything on the Beacon. So Dan and I will coordinate to make sure that the beacons.ai, beacons with an S?
Beacons. Yeah, beacons.
Beacons.ai/TIWYD pod will have links to everything that we have, the merch store, the Patreon, all of our socials, the YouTube. You'll be able to find everything there.
Delicious. Thank you, boys. Thank you so much, man. What a great episode today. A lot of fun hacking it up with you, chopping it up, as they say. And thank you for everyone for tuning in for the last year, for the last season of This Is Why You Died.
We appreciate you.
I'm speaking for you boys when I say that we deeply appreciate everyone who's checked out this show, everyone who's one of our dedicated listeners. This is the moment where we kind of say, like, as a plea, tell people about us. Let's grow this thing, man. Let's get people listening to this show. I'd love to find more people to engage with. We're going to be engaging a lot more with our listeners going forward. It's one of the things we're looking forward to the most is building this community and having this be more interactive. So please go tell your family, tell your friends, tell your dog. Let them know about
if they
this
like
show.
horror, they might like us, and we
That's
like
right.
them.
And even if they don't like horror, they might like us because not all of us really like horror that much, Ryan. Well, you're coming around to it, and that's kind of the point.
I'm coming around.
That's kind of the point. This is not just for the deep horror heads. This is for everybody. So tell everyone to come on over and check out the old This Is Why You Died pod. And in the meantime, guys, as we wrap up this season, anything you guys want to shout out, anything you guys want to promote, anything you guys want to say real quick that's going on, or should we head towards the exits of the theater?
Honestly, I'll
Right.
say thank you guys to everyone who listens, everyone who engages, everyone who feels like they want to be a part of this community. I know that the three of us really appreciate it. We love chopping it up with together, but also we love engaging with you guys, whether it's on socials or now that we've got more methods via Discord and other things, we're very much looking forward to engaging with you there. And this place is nothing without each and every single one of you. You guys are the lifeblood of this thing, and we can chop it up all we want, just the three of us, and we have fun doing that, but it's you guys who make it feel special and make it feel like it's got a home. So thank you guys so much. And we look forward to giving you guys more ways to not only engage, but also more cool programs and more content and more ways for us to kind of entertain you guys and give you guys hopefully things that make you smile.
Yeah. I mean, I got to shout out a couple friends of mine. I got a buddy named Nick who texted me like last week. It was really touching. He's like, I just binged every single one of your episodes, and he's like, and he loves it. He's like, you guys have something great here. I love listening to it all. And then, like you said, Ian, there's some people that don't really like horror but can enjoy our show. And my buddy Mahesh, who has his own podcast too, he's not a horror movie guy, but he loves listening to our episodes each week because he kind of gets to live the movie through us and how we talk about it. So it is for the horror fans
For
and
better or
non-horror
for
fans
worse.
alike. Yeah, right. So
Well,
yeah,
that's awesome, man.
But yeah, I mean, like, it's been really touching to see our group grow and see the community grow, and we hope to grow even further with these big steps for season 2. I'm so excited to see where we go and to keep spreading the love for the horror genre.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll throw one
Amen.
more thing in there. Send
it.
us stuff. Send us questions. Send us
Yeah.
opinions. Like, we would love to throw in any sort of comments or opinions or questions you guys have. I know, like, Safune or some of the others that we mentioned in the past have thrown some stuff our way. Like, we would love to discuss your guys' takes or questions or opinions on the actual episodes. So please send us stuff. We love it.
Yeah.
We love reading it. We love chatting about it. We would love to hear from you.
And on that note, I want to shout out my boy Nick in Barcelona, who also sent us in that he hates our rating system, and
Sorry, Nick.
might have an he might have an argument for it. It is kind of crazy. But shout out to Nick, love you, buddy, and also shout out to Christina in Las Vegas, who's been checking out every one of our shows and is a big supporter as well. And looking
She's
forward
a
to
big share of our content too.
I love it,
She's
man. Thank
it's
you
great.
so much
So
for that.
thank you.
Yeah, everyone, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Looking forward to seeing you guys every week. We'll be going every week going forward from this point, starting with John Carpenter's The Thing next week. So check us out on TikTok, Instagram, everywhere you can find us. Over on
And
Deacons,
YouTube
as you said.
now.
And on
YouTube with video and short.
on
That
YouTube.
little website over there, YouTube.
Amazing.
The little
But guys,
red one.
thank you, everybody. So for Ryan Ross Live, for Dan March of Madness, I am Sir Ian Dangerous. We will see you right here next time on
This is why you die.